pair was initially noticed by a student in the parking lot behind the Cage Center in March of last year. The birds were engaged in nest building activity. The area was near what would have been the north end zone. People asked, where did they come from? Well, we don't know. There's no way of knowing. They could have come from Lake Weiss. Lake Weiss has had 3 active nests for many years. We found a 4th and a 5th nest, one actually on Lake Weiss, another one down closer to the new airport this year. So they've got 5 active nests. The mere presence of the bald eagles at Berry, of course, once they were confirmed by DNR personnel, prompted school officials to start making inquiries as it related to the stadium. Berry was successful in obtaining a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service permit to proceed with the project. They did move the footprint of the stadium approximately 45 yards to the south. If you can imagine with me, coming out of the Cage Center, coming out of the back of the Cage Center across that parking lot, would have roughly lined up with the 50-yard line. It was adjusted about 45 yards closer to town. Well, after last March, the eagles were seen a couple of weeks, and then they were not seen. And everybody wondered what was going on. Until October 22nd, when they showed up again. And they started serious nest building activity all over again. Right before Christmas, roughly the week before Christmas, we believe the female dropped her first egg and then dropped a second a short time thereafter. We believe the first of the juveniles flew on Earth Day. How appropriate, April 22nd of this year. The second one flew approximately a week later. The young birds hung around the nest for 4 or 5 weeks, and only in the last, I guess, 2 weeks or so have their sightings been very, very few and far between. The adults, however, contrary to literature, one or both have been coming back to the nest a good bit late at night. If you look at the Eagle Cam now, and Gina has looked a lot more recently than I have, they've been coming back in about dusk or slightly after 9 o'clock and roosting in the area of the nest. That is not by the book procedure, but there's been very little about this pair that are by the book. Let me come back to the stadium for just a second. I thought Dr. Briggs was going to be here today. A lot of people ask me what impact the stadium is going to have on the eagles and the nest, and the short answer is we simply don't know. We do know that Berry has taken every step short of completely moving the stadium to accommodate these eagles. They have been a marvelous public relations tool for Berry. Berry put the Eagle Cam up to allow the public to monitor the nest, and it is my understanding that plans are to put up an actual nest cam so that people can actually see into the nest as opposed to looking up at the nest for the next breeding season. We just don't know what the impact is going to be of taking down a lot of those trees in the area of the nest. I am confident, however, that Berry will do everything it can to mitigate the impact on these eagles. The bald eagle is the symbol of this nation. It's on our official seal. It's on our currency. And it's in the hearts of children and adults. How many of you, just by a quick show of hands, went out there by any chance during the season to see the birds out there? A lot. It would not be unusual to see 35, 40, 50 people on the side of that hill at Berry. And it was just incredible to hear children and old folks alike ooh and ah when those eagles flew over.